Yeah. Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode of the vlogs. Yam's got all tangled up. Welcome to the Tuesday today, and we're going to talk, as you can tell from the title, a little bit about weights. So we had our first weight session a long time yesterday, a little bit of DOMs today but not too bad, and I'll let you know sort of my approach of going into weights and then my sort of how I deal with weights in the season, what weights to do, what weights not to do. But of course, as always, it's very individual, and this is just what I'm doing or will be doing, not necessarily what you should be doing. And definitely speak to a coach, whether it's a strength coach or a rowing coach or any sort of person that is writing your program, and discuss with them what is best for you. But first things first, we're going to have weights this morning instead of a erg. And then actually my dad is coming in from Scotland and my sister is unfortunately leaving Henley-on-Thames to go back up north to finish her medical degree up at Edinburgh University. So first things first, we've got to get Yam into the club, so let's get to it. Okay, so we've made it into the gym. We're doing a little bit of time-lapsing of just sort of warming up and the whole sort of exercising here. And like I've said in the previous couple of vlogs about weights, I'm just trying to build in so the DOMs aren't too outrageous and then getting back into doing full weight sessions. So upper body day today, so we're working on just a little bit of upper body warm-up, and then we're going to head into bench press, dumbbell bench press and bench pull. But weights for rowing, are they necessary? Well, I think personally for me, I think they are a very good addition to a weights program. They aren't 100% necessary, as we see stand up on the bike and Mr. Innes on the erg. It was very hot in the gym today, and look at the amount of sweat, absolutely outrageous. But weights are a good addition. I don't think they're absolutely necessary because you can get the same benefits through different types of rowing and different types of things on the erg and whatnot. But I think it is really good for injury prevention. So if you're trying to be a bit more robust, I think weights are really good. But again, if you're trying to figure out what you're doing, what's good for you, as we see Stanhope getting his tech out on the bike and watching some Fortnite as well, you really need to try and talk to a coach, whether it's a strength coach, rowing coach, and see what you need to work on, see what benefits you would get from, say, doing weights or even not doing weights at all. And sometimes it's a matter of timing. If you're trying to spend, if you've only got so much time, then you want to spend as much time rowing as possible, because rowing is the sport, not weightlifting. So if you have more time, then it would be good to add weights in. But as I do some bench pull, talk to Stu as well, I'm trying to work on my strength and build it up nice and slowly here as I do some core, but also working on specific types of strength, which I'll get onto later, probably tomorrow. But that will be it for our little bit of weights chat. Oh yeah. And we've made it into the crew, into fuel up after the weight session. A little bit of just making the DOMs happen so they're not horrendous later. But we have to go to the airport after fueling up with the breaded egg toast to pick up my dad. So in a little bit of rush, and it's really hot and the room was absolutely roasting. Mr. Joe Harper, how was your erg in the heat?
Very toasty. Probably the hardest 12K I've done. Maybe ever. Just because of the heat.
Yeah, it was really, really hot. It was actually, I walked into the gym and it was misty because all the lads were all creating the mist due to the heat. But now it's time to fuel up, so let's get to it. And we've made it into the airport. Yam, oh, he's already sitting. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. And we're just waiting on my dad coming off the plane so we can get back to Henley. How are you? Started training him a little bit with some cold meats, and he seems to be very perceptive or very receptive to the cold meats as opposed to some of the dog treats he's been getting. I suppose the dog treats just get a bit stale sometimes, isn't that right? Isn't that right, Yam? But he's like, give me that corned beef or ham or whatever it is, and it means that he's training a lot better. So now when I'm trying to get him to look at me, he's like, do I get a piece of ham? Good boy. Or if I sit, do I get a piece of ham? And he's being much more receptive to that. But now I'm still waiting on my dad. I think he might have walked past me while we were doing stuff with Yam. I think he's a bit confused. Let's go get him. Hey, Yam. Yam. There he is. Yam. And we've made it back to Henley. We're going to just chill out, relax, and then maybe do an erg this afternoon. My sister's going to get prepared to leave while my dad is down here to drive Mavis the car back. But let's play with Larry and Yam. How are you?
Finally. Get it, laddie. Get it, laddie.
Go on, Yam. Go on, Yam. Go on, Yam. Go on, Yam. Oh.
He's like, oh, I like this game. He's not going for it. Yeah.
Yam. And we've made it back to the club for another workout today. It is very, very hot. Yam is absolutely roasting after his playing around. We've managed to grab some lunch because remember, food is fuel with my dad and sister. Pre-ergo, we're going to get into the gym and hope it is not too hot. We're going to make sure Yam is nice and cool because he is a dark puppy, black coat. He will sort of run that bit hotter, especially in the sun. So making sure he's okay. Probably get him some ice cubes soon to see how he deals with those. But now it is time to go work out, and I've also got, I didn't mention earlier with the weights, there'll be a little bit of testing tomorrow, fingers crossed, not in the club but elsewhere, so stay tuned for that weights wise. But now it's time to get into the club, get Yam rested, cooler, and get on there. Oh, yeah. Boy. And that's us made it out of the club for another day. Just set the camera down. A little bit of an erg in the heat, but basically since it was by myself, I had all the fans pointed in my direction and on Yam as well. So which made a massive difference, which is, I mean, it is obvious, but heart rate split wise, not only did the heart rate sort of calm down a bit just by being that bit cooler, it also meant that the split was a bit easier to maintain, and as well getting to the end of the ergo, it wasn't so much of a struggle, it was more of a maintaining rather than sort of building and building and building. But I mean, it is obvious, but sometimes it just needs a little reminder. So if you are in the heat, especially this week as we're in the middle of a heat wave, supposedly record temperatures tomorrow in the UK, and if you're anywhere else that is really warm, I mean, you probably already know it is obvious, but the difference that heat makes is absolutely massive. So like I've spoke about before, sometimes when you're working out and you've got your heart rate at one place and you're split at one place and they match, and then say it comes into summertime, it gets hotter and the heart rate starts to go up and the split stays the same, that can just be because of the heat. It could be for other reasons, but it can be because of the heat. And that's why I say you kind of have to make sure you don't just take your heart rate, you don't just take the split, you don't just take how you're feeling, but you take all of those things together to get your sort of idea of where you should be, what your intention should be for working out. Well, hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of a chat about weights earlier over the time lapse of the weights in the gym. But that will be it for today's episode, Yam Squad. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We're going to get Yam some ice cubes, see if he likes them, and as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and have a good one.